A while ago I made a video on how to do a proper butt splice. It apparently isn't the most popular topic because it hasn't been viewed a whole lot, but it has been viewed. Here's a particular reason why. On that video I suggest never ever use a crimped butt splice. Just throw them away. Everything should be soldered and with heat shrink wrapping. Preferably the new heat shrink that also seals. This is a 28-foot Sea Ray Sundancer. I walked in this morning to put the boat up. This whole area right here soaked. Where's that water coming from? The air conditioning unit is in this compartment here. Head, which is also a shower, is this compartment with a drain back there. Here on the stair, underneath this pull-up step, is where the trash can fits in here. You pull the trash can out and beneath it you can see water in there, hopefully. That whole compartment all the way up to here was filled with water, and it was coming out through the carpet. The water condensation from the air conditioning unit drains into here. The shower drains into here, but the AC was on. It's very humid now in Florida. So the AC was on, and a lot of humidity in the air means a lot of condensation. Now normally this device sits in this lower compartment, down in there where that water is, and it takes condensation from the air conditioner as an input. It takes the shower drain as an input. There's a lid that goes on this that covers it. This is just a bilge pump. This is a float switch. Fairly simple unit. Water comes in, strainer gets in here, fills this up until it activates the float switch. Float switch turns on, bilge pump pumps it out. This keeps constantly cycling on and off as water builds up. Well, this stopped working. And since it stopped working, the whole thing filled up, the whole compartment filled up, and then it started leaking into the cabin area. Of course, it messes up the carpet, but you know, if it sat long enough, it could fill up this entire bow with condensation. There's nothing else, there's nothing to stop it. There's nothing to drain it, which is, I'm not sure how this boat is constructed. I'm not sure where this is or what's behind it. I think the gas tank is behind it. It's impossible to get to from behind it. But this little section in here does not drain anywhere. It should drain into the bilge as a secondary way of evacuating. It does not. The only way of getting water out of here is either it evaporates out if it gets outside of this drain unit, or it gets pumped out by the drain. So I pumped it out manually. I still have to get the rest of it out of there. But anyway, it gets down to, you can see these two wires. These are the feed wires that feed the pump. And they were hooked up to the pump with these crimp connectors. Never ever use a crimp connector. Sea Ray, these are installed by Sea Ray. They're not sealed. Water gets in there. This is the ground connector. This is power connector. If you look in there, you can see copper oxide corrosion, and it corroded the wire apart. So there was no power to the unit. Nothing wrong with the pump, but without power, the pump's not working. Never, ever, ever use a crimp connector like this. They should be soldered. So the second thing Sea Ray should have done was they should have given me more wire through the firewall. I had to actually get a pair of pliers and pull as much as I could get through the firewall just to give me enough to work with. I'm going to solder these connectors in there so that I can have a quick disconnect if I need to replace it again, if I ever have to replace it. But this, you know, even if they were going to hardwire it in there, it should have been soldered, not these things. So if you haven't watched my video on how to do a butt splice, watch it, because something like this could mean your boat flooding, possibly even sinking.